How are we all doing today? So it's another episode of our daily market overview and technical analysis basically, because today we saw DXY jumping like a ram all the way to the upside. I mean, this is something we have prepared our mind for a while, since we saw the break of this particular trend line and then the market find its way back to the upside. It was slow at the beginning, but right now, today, you can see it is really fast. Now, the first thing I want us to understand is that happened with little to no fundamentals behind it, okay? And this is what I'm talking about. So let's take a look at the US economic heat map right here. Okay, as you can see, we've had little to no data released this month so far, the month of November. Okay, all we've seen today is more like the initial jobless scheme that even came quite bad. All right, the initial jobless claim came yesterday, and it wasn't even very good. Okay, it went higher. It was higher than what was forecasted. So that is quite insane to be seeing something quite significant like this today on the dollar. However, sometimes, this is one of the reasons why some people really do not mess with fundamentals. They just stick to technical because they can make sense out of it. Fundamental is very tricky, and it could actually make you go insane sometimes, like what the heck is actually going on. So this is the risk sentiment gauge, and right now it's more like mixed. Okay, I mean the market is on the daily time frame, the market is mixed. Okay, the risk sentiment is mixed. On the weekly it is risk off, and on the monthly it is the same as risk off. Okay, so everybody's quite cautious right now. The investors are quite cautious. So I mean, and when stuff like this happen, what do you see? You end up seeing asset like dollar gaining some momentum. The stock market will literally just fall flat, and we've seen that happen since the beginning of the week. Okay, so number one, the market is currently in the risk of sentiment, and also we saw this particular move on DXY with little to no fundamentals. So I mean, let's leave that aside. It's too complicated, right? What can we now expect from what we can see right in front of us on the dollar index? Don't forget, last week I said anything below here, I am quite bearish on DXY, but the moment it continues to the upside like this, I remain bullish, all right? Because we still have this particular bullish momentum that is very strong, and right now it seems to be quite resilient. Okay, so buyers are still in, the market is in risk off, dollar is making some very interesting moves, and per asset like yen is falling flat on their faces. So that is actually very good for the dollar. Don't forget what I said again. I'm expecting a little push to the downside, then followed by what? A further move to the upside. Okay, on DXY, based on what we have right now, I don't see any reason why I would be shorting this insanely. Okay, or maybe I'll be shorting it abruptly. I'm not going to do that. Okay, shorting dollar right now needs to be done cautiously. I'm not going to do that right at the top here. Okay, if I'm going to short dollar, it has to break below here. Okay, without this, there is no short for dollar. All right. However, we still have this particular resistance at the top here. Okay, which is standing very strong. Failure to break above here, then dollar is still pretty much in a very weak space for me. I'll put it that way. It's still pretty weak. Okay, but I mean, this is a very wide range right here. Okay, from 96.4 to 40 to like 100. Okay, 130. Okay, that is a very wide range right there. Anything can still happen. Per asset like euro dollar, pound dollar can really make some very demanding and very serious moves in a range like this. So pay close attention to dollar index. It is very, very important moving forward. Okay, so back to the pair that I suggested yesterday that we can take a look at. Let's start with Bitcoin. Okay, now Bitcoin is just dropping down very crazily. I said yesterday that we might end up seeing 85, 80K all the way to the downside. But what I didn't factor into the whole picture is that Bitcoin might not do pullback. Okay, and without pullback, I don't see myself shorting this. Okay, without this kind of pullback, we're testing this particular trend line. I don't see myself shorting Bitcoin. Okay, all these moves right here on the 8-hour time frame or 12-hour time frame, even on the daily time frame, it still looks like a straight line. Okay, it looks like a straight line. I mean, take a look at this. We have higher low. I mean, yeah, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower low. We've not really. I mean, this is a massive low right there. Okay, there's no lower high anywhere there. Okay, there's nothing we can actually use Fibonacci to measure. Even 23.6 alone It's not there. Okay, so this is not a pullback. This thing that is happening right here is not a pullback to me on Bitcoin. I would still want to see something like this before I can actually take a shot on Bitcoin. So pay close attention to that. So for that reason, there's no trade on Bitcoin. Ethereum, I think Ethereum did something quite similar to Bitcoin. However, I mean, the plan was for us to see something quite similar to this, a pullback to this region, then we set it off. Now, to some of you, you might be feeling like, oh, we are missing out, you're missing out, you're missing out. Well, if you feel like that, it's fine. But I don't think this is a miss out. This is just a trade that did not play my way. It's fine, okay? I mean, I've come this far than to be rushing after a trade or forcing a trade. It's never going to happen. So I would advise you also not to do the same. Okay, I will advise you to do the same. Don't force a trade, don't force an asset. If it doesn't come to your area of confluence, just let it go. Okay, and sometimes it might even come to your area of confluence. Okay, you take the trade and then you take a loss. It's fine, it's part of the deal, right? So just move on from a trade that is not your own and go ahead and look for the one that fits your plan. If the one, whatever that happens to that, profit or loss, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you trade your plan and you stick to it. That is how you win eventually. So Ethereum, I'm still quite looking for something like this. Okay, if I get that, I would be taking this shot. All right, failure to get something like this. If Bitcoin like or Ethereum like, it should drop down to zero. I don't really care. All right, I need to get my entry. Everything has to fall in place. If it doesn't fall in line, if it doesn't fall in place, I am not going to be taking it. Now let's take a look at USDJPY. I mean, we've been talking about dollar yen for a while, and you see another reason why I was waiting for entry. Okay, I mean a break, a pullback that would give me something I'm looking for. But that didn't happen. We saw yen actually get really weak this week. Okay, it got really, really weak. Okay, let's even take a look at the yen basket right here. And see the weakness is just so persistent. All right, and this is not the time to be playing against this. Okay, just anything now, just buy the yen pairs. Okay, dollar yen, pound yen, just keep buying them. Every pullback you get, just buy them. Okay, yen is not looking very beautiful right now, so I'm not going to be playing against that. So back to dollar yen that I was trying to analyze earlier. The plan now is plain and simple. Okay, on the daily band, let's go to the 12-hour time frame. I don't want us to go too far. On the 12-hour time frame, you can still see that we have something quite significant at the top here. Let's use basic white. Let's extend it to 4. Good. So we still have something very decent at the top here, something around the 158.90. All right at the top here. So the plan is plain and simple now. Wait for the pullback, the same pullback I'm expecting on dollar index. Okay, wait for this pullback, and let's see if we can ride this one all the way back to the top. Okay, I said again, don't fight the trend. Do not fight the trend. It is bullish. Let's go for it. The reason why I was expecting a break all the way to the downside for me to short dollar yen earlier this week was because of this particular wedge pattern. Okay, you can see the market is shrinking. Okay, the bullish momentum is what? It is gradually reducing. But one thing about wedge pattern is that it can break to the upside or break to the downside. And that is why you need an extra confluence to get into the trade. And that is another reason why I was actually waiting for the break below here, a pullback, then that we take it. Okay, that is how I actually trade a wedge pattern as a confluence of for entry from your for confirmation, something like that. Okay, so since we didn't get that and DXY seems to be very bullish, I would say we wait for pullback and then we go in for what? For a buy on dollar yen, period. Okay, quite simple, right? So we are bullish on dollar yen, we are still quite bearish on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but what we are waiting for on both is we're waiting for some pullbacks so we can go in for them. So let's quickly talk about gold, the beautiful one. All right, let's take this down to like 2-hour time frame because I want us to really talk about this in great details. All right, so let's talk about gold for a few minutes, then we jump to silver. Now, yesterday on gold, I said if we get a break above 4,100 region and we get a very nice pullback, I will be buying gold, right? That is what I said. However, failure to break above here means I will be selling on what? On the 5-minute time frame. So the market was somewhere around here yesterday when I was explaining that, when I was talking about that. I was analyzing that, excuse me. I thought I was in a class. So what we got from gold is a very nice break to the upside. This looked like a liquidity sweep right here. Okay, grab some liquidity, swept some sellers, swept some sellers out of their feet, tap some stop losses there, and what happened eventually is what? The market just fell flat. Okay, so now the goal of this is what? I took the trade on the 5-minute time frame. You know, I told you I'm going to take it on a more smaller time frame. So right here, very early this morning, so this is the Asia market. Okay, I'm talking about 6 a.m. Nigerian time. So that's when I start spanning for trade on this particular day trading strategy. And you can see that the market is actually very bullish. You can see the moving averages, and you can see the demand, you can see the supply zone all the way at the top. You can see my RSI also looking very serious and good. So moving forward, I got a break above this particular high. All right. Some of my friends have actually joined the trade. I mean, some of my Asian guys, I mean, they've already taken some very good buy. I mean, some of them are already happy. Okay. But I'm just waking up in Nigeria. I can't jump into trade. So the plan was to see the market come back to this region on 5-minute time frame. And this is good. Don't forget. When I got that entry, I looked for my entry pattern, candlestick, engulfing candle, and I took the trade right there. I took the first buy. It ran very well. But this is more like a 1 ratio, a 1.5 kind of trade. Okay. A 1.5 RR kind of trade. Let's just say 1 ratio 1.5. Why? Because the stop loss is very big. Okay, the way I set my stop loss for this strategy is that I like to put it below the previous low. And you can see this is the previous low, right? We have higher high, higher low. We have a very flat low right here. After this higher high, I even say this is the higher low right here. And then we now get a new higher high. So we have higher low right here, which is where I enter the trade. So this is the what? This is the previous higher low, and that is where I put my stop loss slightly below it. So this stop loss is very wide. Okay, so I had to just manage myself very well. Then I just took the trade, and it ran very well. I was trailed out around here because the money trade is already in 1.5%. I like to just trail around 20 to 30 pips. Okay, so the trade was actually at the top here, but I got trailed out after a loss of like 30 to 40 pips actually. So that was a good one. And after a while, during the New York Open, early hour of the New York market, I took another buy around here. The stop loss was actually very small at this time around, but the market got here at 1%. So what did I do? I put my stop loss at 0.5%. And at this time, I was already tired. So I just tried to put my stop loss somewhere there, and I just went to bed. Okay, by the time I woke up, I already saw that the market had fallen all the way down to this region. So come tomorrow, this is what I'll be looking for now. Okay, this is what I'll be trading. But right now, I'm not trading, and I don't trade the Asian market because I'm already tired. So now, what I'm trying to explain here is that what I said here is the moment we get the market to come back inside this range from 4 to 100 to 400, I will be taking the trade on a 15-minute time frame. I'm not going to be selling this on my swing trading account. I will only trade it on the 5-minute, and that's why I went there to explain everything in great details for you. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying now. So, peradventure we get this to come down further tomorrow, I will be taking a short. I'll be focusing more on a short trade. And with the kind of dollar that we've seen so far, a very stronger dollar like that, I mean, it is very possible, okay? Very likely that gold will fall down more tomorrow. And maybe something like this, okay, we're going to get gold RSI all the way back to like 20 or 30 or below 30, okay, which would be very good for me. And that would just be that on gold for me today. However, if we get a break above here again, 4100, and the market pull back, I will resume back to my swing buy, and I will be buying gold for the near term. Okay, so that is that from me to you today. I hope you enjoy it. I will see you in the next one. Have a fabulous day. Bye for now.